Hello friends, welcome to the Spider-Man game tutorial in Scratch, and we are currently in the part 3 where we are trying to make the Spider-Man swing towards the target. And today in this video we will complete the swing mechanism in Spider-Man. So I will show you what we have done so far in our game. So if I click in the green flag, so we can shoot web balls like this with the space bar, and we can also swing towards these targets by pressing V. So it shoots out the web and it goes towards the target, and right now it is just stuck here. So it can swing towards the target, but it's stuck. So today we will complete the swing motion animation here. So once it reaches the target and it will fall back towards the ground, so we will introduce a gravity today in this game. So without further wasting any time, let's start. Okay, first of all, let's get a ground sprite for our Spider-Man game. So let's go to the sprite option here, and let me search a line here, this one. And let's drag this line downwards here, and near the foot of the Spider-Man, actually up to here. Okay, this will act as a ground. So let me just rename it ground, ground. And let's go to its costume and let's extend our ground a little bit. Click here and let me extend the ground. Okay, and let me change the color also. Fill and which color? Okay, this color would be good. So this will be our ground, and let's get back to code. And if you see, the Spider-Man's foot is a little bit backward, or this is been hidden by this ground. So let's fix this. To fix it, let's just drag a green factory block from the events, and then next we go to looks menu, go downwards, and there is a go to front layer or back layer. Let's drag one of the go to front layer here and attach it with the green click block. Next we just click back, and now if we click in the green flag, we can see the foot of our Spider-Man now. So it goes, this ground layer goes towards the back layer, and we can see the foot of our Spider-Man. And now let's click in the Spider-Man, and here we are going to introduce a gravity. So for that, let's go to variables menu and click on the make a variable, and here we are going to make a gravity variable. And next let's make another variable called y velocity variable. So y gravity variable will hold the gravity value, and the y velocity will keep on increasing or decreasing based on the value of gravity. The y velocity is actually the vertical motion of the sprite. And now let's go to events menu, drag a when green flag click block again, and next go to variables menu, and let's drag a set gravity variable block and attach it here, and we are going to set the gravity to -2. Okay, so we have going to be given it -2 because if while falling downwards, the y position changes by negative. Yeah, so it decreases while falling downwards. If we go upwards, the y position becomes positive, or it increases, and while going downwards it decreases. That's why I have set the gravity to -2. And next let's drag another set variable block here, and this time we are going to set y velocity to 0. First of all, we'll set the velocity to 0. Yeah, And next, let's go to control menu and drag a forever loop like this. And inside the forever loop, we are going to drag an if else statement or the block here, and we are going to check if the Spider-Man is touching the ground or not. Okay, for that, let's go to sensing and drag a touching mouse pointer block inside the if block. Next, let's click on the mouse pointer option here, and we can see different options. We are going to select ground. So if the Spider-Man is touching the ground, then what should be done? So let's go to variables, and next let's drag another set variable block inside the touching ground block. So if it is touching the ground, then the y velocity should be 0 because it's not in motion. Yeah, it's just still. That's why let's select y velocity. So we set the y velocity to 0 when it's touching the ground, but if it's not touching the ground, it is somewhere else in the sky, then we need to set something else. So first that, so if it is not touching the ground, that it means the loop will be in the else block. Yeah, so for that we will change the y velocity. Let's drag the change variable block inside the else block, and let's select y velocity, and we are going to change the y velocity by gravity. So let's drag the gravity variable from here, attach it inside the y velocity, change y velocity block like this. And next, let's go to motions menu, go downwards, and there is a change y by 10 block. Let's drag it and attach it with the change y by velocity block. And next we are going to change y by y velocity. Okay, for that we go to variables menu and drag a y velocity variable inside here, and like this. Yeah, so we have introduced the gravity in our game. So what does it do? It goes in the forever loop, and if it's touching the ground, we set the y velocity to 0, and if it's not touching the ground, if that means it's in the sky, then we will change the y by y velocity like this. And let's see what happens. Yeah, so I click in the green flag and I can shoot the balls, and if I try to swing here, so we get this kind of effect. It tries to go up, but the gravity attracts it downwards. Look. Yeah, so let's fix this. So we want the gravity to only act when it's not shooting the web. So if when we are shooting the web, we don't want the gravity to act. Yeah, it should go upwards. So let's make another variable called let's click in the variable. Let's make a variable called shooting shooting web web. Okay, so this shooting web variable will be holding the value based on whether it is shooting or not. So first of all, let's drag a set variable block just above here. Yeah, and instead of gravity, we are going to select shooting web. So we will make the shooting web variable to 0 when it's not shooting anything. Yeah, if it's not shooting anything, the shooting web variable will hold the 0 value, but if it's shooting, then we will set it to 1. So where is the shooting web? So let's go to web. Yeah, here we can see when I receive shoot long web, means here we know that here we are shooting the web. So that's why let's drag a set variable block here just above the repeat until block, and let's select shooting web, and we will set it to 1. So when we are shooting the web, we set the shooting web variable to 1. And next, let's go back to the Spider-Man sprite, and here if we are done with shooting, that means this Spider-Man will toss the target if repeat until touching target. Yeah, So if it touches the target, that means our shooting wave is done. That means here we are going to set the shooting wave back to 0. So let's drag another set variable block below the repeat until touching target block. So once we have touched the target, then let's select the shooting wave. So we set the shooting wave back to 0 because we are not shooting wave anymore now because it has already touched the target. And now here what we are going to do is we are only going to change the y velocity and change the y position of this sprite or the spiderman when we are not shooting the wave. That means when shooting wave equals to 0. So let's go to control, drag a if block, and let's drag these two code blocks inside the if block like this, and let's drag this whole if block inside the else block. And here in the condition we go to operators, drag an equal to operator, next go to variables, drag a shooting wave variable here, and let's change the 50 to 0. So if shooting wave equals to 0, drag this condition inside the if block. So if shooting wave equals to 0, then only we are going to change the y velocity by gravity, and we are going to change the y position of the sprite. Else if it's shooting the wave, that means when its shooting wave is 1, that means we are not going to affect our sprite by gravity. Let's see. Click on the green flag, and if I shoot the wave, now it goes back up here. If I shoot the wave again, look, goes up and down. And that's it. But one thing that you might have noticed is when you are shooting the wave like this, look at the Spider-Man, it's tilted. Yeah, so let's fix that also. And let's fix another thing. So when it's shooting the wave, it's like this. Okay, let's fix it. First of all, I want to fix something here. So here when we click on the V and it's shooting the wave, at last it changes the costume to pose 1. Let's when it's here, let's change the costume to another costume. So I'll show you the costumes here. So we have got pose 1 is this costume. We don't want this costume to be shown while it's up here. Yeah, we only want it to be shown when it's in the ground. So let's show this costume when it's in this place. Swing 4 costume. Okay, so for that, so once we have broadcasted shoot long wave and we have waited for 0.2 seconds, after that we will change the costume to swing 4 like this one. Let's see. V. Okay, and when it's touching the ground, we want the pose back to its normal pose. That means pose 1. Yeah, so let's change that to. So to change that, so here if it's touching the ground, we change the pose. So let's go to looks and drag a switch costume block here, and we change the pose or the costume to pose 1 when it's touching the ground. So let's see. Click here and press 3 up. Now it's the pose is good, but the direction, it's a direction is not good. Yeah, it's still tilting. So let's fix that too. To fix that, we go to looks menu, go to motions, and we drag a point in direction 90-degree block, drag it here. After pose, we just point towards 90 degree. That means it becomes straight. Let's see again. If I press V, switch and back. Yeah, back to normal position. But look what happens. So let's fix this. It just shoots wave one time, but another time it is doing this kind of thing, weird thing. So let's fix that also. To fix this, we are going to switch the costume pose and switch the point in direction block when it's shooting the web, when it's not shooting the web. Yeah, so let's fix this. To fix that, we go to control menu, drag an if block, and we drag these two things also. Go to operator menu and drag a equals to operator, and next go to variable and drag a shooting wave operator. Place it inside the equal to operator and equate it to 0. Drag this whole thing inside the if block and drag these two positions or the code blocks inside the if block like this, and drag this whole if block inside the above if block. After it has set to 0, the velocity is set to 0, then we check if shooting wave equals to 0. If shooting wave is equals to 0, that means if it's not shooting the wave, then only we switch the costume to pose 1 and we point in 90-degree direction. Let's see if it fixes or not. Yeah, click in the green flag and I will shoot the wave. Now it's back. Shoot the wave. Now it's back. Yeah, and but you might have noticed something, so let me show you again. So right now it's in this much height. Yeah, if I shoot the wave, it goes deep down. Yeah, if I shoot another time, it goes deep down. If I shoot here, it goes like this. So let's fix the ground position of the Spider-Man. So to fix that, we don't have to do much of a thing. We just set the position, Y position to something. Yeah, this much position is okay, I think. Y equal to -120. So let's go to motion, go downwards and drag a set Y block inside here like this. So it will set the Y position to -120 if it's in the ground. So let's see. Click on the green flag, shoot the wave, and the place is here. I shoot here, its Y position is fixed now. Yeah, shoot wave, and that's it. Now that's how we make the Spider-Man swing towards the target and apply the gravity accordingly. Did something happen? Some little bit of error. Yeah, so thank you guys for the video, and if you want to subscribe my channel, you can subscribe my channel. Please like and comment and subscribe my channel also, and I will see you next time. Thank you guys.